I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, beat left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in, Kicking It Stateside. We are back. Adam Modick, Brian Wheeler, A2D Radio. Fresh, hot off the presses. Another Premier League weekend. It seems like it doesn't end. Every week just keeps rolling by. We're in week 24 already. I don't even know. It's one of those things where the pandemic has brought the schedule even more compact. So I feel like, hey, we're rolling in. We got the delayed back in, March. Then we start up again in June. And then we're rolling right back into it. And now it's keep on coming down the tracks. We got Champions League talk today. That starts up again on Tuesday and Wednesday. Some good matchups. Again today, I have some choice words for my Liverpool people.
You had them before this game even was played, so I can only imagine what they're going to come out to be today.
So if you're a Liverpool fan, you might want to look away and not tune in because it's just going to get you triggered, and that's kind of my goal. Because I've been trying to trigger Lord Walker, and he's been good with it. I think I got him a little bit earlier. Because he came out, I think he came out and started slandering my Dortmund boys as well. So I know I got him a little bit.
I wasn't even trying to trigger him with the Bayern Club World Cup thing, but apparently that he didn't like that. I was hyped about a Club World Cup. But I remember Liverpool fans were pretty hyped about a Club World Cup when they won the Club World Cup.
Thank you, Jeff. That's a good segue into
Actually, I don't think Klopp even cried this morning.
I mean, he's run out of tears.
Yeah, like he just looked like he accepted it. I mean, I guess him and Brendan Rodgers probably have a decent relationship, so there's mutual respect there. But he didn't get so upset like he does in other moments. It seems like he's kind of.
Yes, I mean, again, it's one of those things. Again, I'll get into it. I don't want to get in too crazy right now, but
good morning, everybody. I didn't really say good morning.
Yes, I forgot to say, Brian. Hello, how are you, friend?
Yeah, I mean, I'm great. I'm wonderful. I'm here. We woke up today, so
yeah. Shout out Eddie. He's very positive every day. I've noticed on Facebook. He's saying, "Thank God, for waking up another day."
Yeah. The name has changed today, so
hopeful Arsenal supporter.
Yes.
Hey, every week in this league, it's always something different.
Yeah. After what's happening to Liverpool right now, it's just bringing on hope, I guess. Because if it can happen to them, it can happen to anybody.
Oh man, I'm getting texts from Ralphie. I'm falling down on the job already. I wasn't scrolling the stuff. Damn it. But yeah. So, speaking of what Chrome kind of mentioning, the poll question this week, we kind of threw it out, with the pandemic still happening. And I saw this on ESPN actually brought it up, which kind of made me start thinking about it this week, with the downfall of even Liverpool and some of these bigger clubs, with the empty stadiums, is that taking away from this home field advantage? Like, is there even a home field advantage anymore? And Chrome, he says, obviously, I totally agree to the poll. I feel like it's been that way in sports in general. Only advantage is the stress of travel, but in-game totally takes that away. And I mean, I think I agree to that.
That's pretty...
And especially in soccer, too, where the home crowd is the most probably important thing.
Yeah.
You get that atmosphere and you get that crowd, especially in some stadiums where they're right on top of you. And you're just shitting your pants the whole time. But now it's like you could play maybe a little more free flowing without the fan.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a game changer, especially for some of those players that, it seems to either motivate or some guys can't handle it. So certain guys I think are probably enjoying it. Maybe some of the guys that don't like that pressure as much. But then, there's a lot of guys that really feed off of that. The real competitors want that fan, want that crowd noise. And yeah, I pretty much agree exactly the way Chrome put it. That's kind of how I was going to put it, was there is a moderate advantage because of the travel, and such things. Now, obviously, this travel in this league and travel in some of our sports is slightly different due to just general size, and locations of everybody. So it's not even probably a stressful travel, other than when you're playing European competition. But if you're just playing within the Premier League, in most cases, it's not too bad of a travel situation. So yeah, I mean, it does. It hurts. You said it perfectly about 3 months ago with Sheffield. Mm-hmm. And a team like Sheffield last year literally ran off the love of the fans. And as soon as we had COVID and weren't able to have fans back in the stands upon the return of play, they really went downhill. They lost all that momentum. And then this year, with no fans, you can see what it's done for a small club like that. They need that energy in those home games to push for those draws and push for those late winners. And it's hard, I guess, for the smaller clubs to maybe find that without the fans.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the Sheffield thing, it's when you're thriving off the energy of the crowd and the crowd is pushing you when you need that late goal, or, when you're up 1-0, and you need to see the game out, there's nothing more important than the fans, having that energy and, shouting, and the pressure too. I mean, the pressure's got to be okay, good or bad, I think, at this point.
Yeah, look what pressure can do to guys. Granted,
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and that's something we're going to get into. Obviously, Jake, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Tommy. Hey, congratulations, real quick.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, congratulations on the boss man and his family, on the latest addition to the A2D family.
Yeah, beautiful, healthy boy.
Yeah, man. So
cute as a button.
Absolutely. A lot of great moments to come. So it's awesome to see, man.
I say Brian can speak more to that because he is a father. I am not, but again, Congrats to Tommy. That's awesome. He looks just like you. What else we got? Chrome said that was a rude good morning for Brian with the late morning. I didn't
get set up. I was
going into this thing, and then all of a sudden it's oh yeah, good morning everybody. And it was my fault too, because I didn't throw it to you like I usually do.
I know, we were playing a little volleyball and Adam was just sitting there just bumping it to himself. I know. Waiting, it's all right. He had things to get off his chest. I do it plenty of times, so I can't.
Oh, all the time.
No fault. No.
I was just thinking about goddamn Liverpool the whole time.
Yeah.
Jeff saying Jurgen's going to argue about another early start. I'm sure he'll have something to say. There's the man. Game changer, Pep said after his first win at Anfield, there is a night and day difference between crowds being there and not being there. Yeah. I think we're not going to get much pushback to the poll as far as saying that it's it's not like the home field advantage isn't gone or, ruined. Because there's just something about the fans being there, the atmosphere. Again, when you need that late goal to get that little bit of push, that extra, when you're winded as hell late in the game in like the 85th, 86th minute, you need that goal. And that's that extra little bit of adrenaline coming to you from the fans. So, yeah, I think it's pretty much down the tubes at this point until we get people back.
It's looking like your boys could use some fans today to get that push because they're going to need a late goal.
Dude, that's another one I have. Don't you worry about my boys.
I just happened to just looked up in the corner there and was like, whoa, hey, what happens here?
Don't you worry about my Dortmund boys. God damn it. They're another ones that need some scolding and some scorning. God, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. It's...
Tommy says he agrees with the poll. Absolutely. Joey, what's up, man? Thanks for checking us out and checking in. Haven't heard from you in a little bit. Up? Andy, Sire.
Go sell some cars, bro.
For sure.
Sell some cars. I know how it is. I did it for 10 years. Go hustle them.
Yeah, Saturdays are no breaks in the car business. Quite the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you can't watch our show till later because that means you're busy making money.
True. But yeah. Another question I had for my Chelsea brethren, with the recent, lack of run of form for Christian Pulisic, is there any concern? He's not looking as confident as he once was, whether that's because of injury, whether that's because the pandemic itself. I know he sat out last week's game with a family issue. Is that bothering him a little bit, or whatever the case may be? What is it? I can't put my finger on why he's just looking out of sorts out there.
I don't know if it's injury recovery. I don't know if it's just total comfortability. I mean, a lot of people touched on him having a previous relationship with Tuchel. But you don't always know, how people actually, I guess, feel. And he may felt that that's not, that's somebody that he ran in early in his career with, and maybe he didn't necessarily want to be reunited with him. Maybe he liked Frank. I mean, he played well under Frank. He was one of the guys that, like, Frank got a lot out of him. When he wasn't hurt, he played his best football, obviously, under Frank. He was in a really nice run there, and that was under his tutelage and his coaching. So there's no, I haven't heard anything on either way, but no, it's not like there was a lot of interviews saying, asking, I guess, his opinion if he was happy or not with the change, but maybe that's something that's weighing on him.
I'm just trying to figure out like what's the deal. He just does not look confident at all out there. I mean, I know before he was very direct and he was trying to do maybe a little too much, trying to dribble in between three guys, but now it's like he's giving the ball away in bad spots and just, I don't know. It's puzzling to see some of these players, like what ups and downs that they may go through throughout the season. But it's just weird.
Yeah, it's not a positive thing for us at this moment.
No.
We've talked about how, that great core of players that we're building, it would be really nice to put them together with him at his best. But I mean, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, everybody's replaceable too. So if his form, for some reason, I'm not saying that it's going completely away. I figure he'll work on things and get it back. But if it did go, there's a lot of competition coming now.
Mm-hmm.
You see it with this American side. Like, you're not just holding down a spot now on this team. I wouldn't hope so. I hope like Berhalter is basically leaving it as this is a constant open competition. And the best players are going to make this team and continue to go. So,
yeah, I think, well, both men's national team and Chelsea have a bit of depth. So Pulisic, if he's not up to snuff, he's not going to play.
Yeah.
Like, Tuchel's a pretty tough guy to play for. I mean, he's going to sit you down. And again, Ziyech isn't playing very well either. I don't know if that's injury or what's going on with him. But again, I think that's another topic that, of course, I had like 3 rants today that I really just needed to get off my chest. It was like Dortmund, Liverpool, Chelsea, all just frustrating the hell out of me.
Well, before we get into one, we got to hit at least one sponsor. And then
again, I forgot. I'm dropping the ball.
No, it's okay. You're welcome to take the floor with any one of your 3 rants. I don't care which one you want to go with first.
No, it was just I think I had so much on my mind that I'm just like my mind is fuzz. Also, COVID brain. I just have to throw the card out there. Every time I have this like mental brain fart, I just play the COVID card.
Yeah.
But yes, obviously our show is sponsored by the good doc, Paul Vidal at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. He's our good doc, and you should make him yours as well. Obviously, 2 wonderful locations in Cherry Hill and in Burlington. You can visit him online, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. He will do, if you're not comfortable with going into the 2 locations, you can do a online consultation if you'd like, obviously with the pandemic. Any ailments you need, he'll fix you up really quick. And he's the best. He comes on some of our shows all the time. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. So he's a jack of all trades. He's knowledgeable at sports, and he's one of the best PTs you could find out there. So we love Paul. Make him yours. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. All right. Well, again, today, Champions League talk. We'll get into that as well. I mentioned that in the my opening craziness of a monologue. We got 2 on Tuesday and 2 on Wednesday this week. Again, speaking of Liverpool is going to be talked about a lot on this show today. They need to get their heads out of their asses because they have to play Leipzig on Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an easy task.
And then they come back around. I saw Eddie that they, I think the Merseyside derby is just after that game next weekend.
Yeah, it's getting heavy.
Again, trying times. I don't mean to beat Liverpool fans over the head, and I know it's you think I have some agenda, but I really don't. It's just the excuses I'm seeing from Liverpool fans is just comical. Everybody, granted, you lost probably the best center back in the world. Yes, absolutely. I don't think anybody can dispute that. But you don't see other people making like some crazy. Everything's a deflection for a Liverpool fan. You're deflecting so hard. It's ridiculous. And
right now they have one issue to me, and it looks like it's in goalkeeper. I don't know what the hell has happened to Allison, but he does not look like the world-class keeper that he once was before that injury. So I don't know if it's the injuries in his head and he's worried about, things like that, and maybe seeing Van Dijk on the other side getting hurt in a play with a goalkeeper and all those things. It's unexplainable because that guy was the best for the last 2 years, and he just looks completely out of sorts. It's
again,
weird.
It's one of those things that you just can't explain. I really don't know. Hello, Gregory. Agreed to the poll. This pandemic has ruined everything, and yes, home field advantage is one of those. Yes, sir. It's not good because I miss going to games. I'm sure, like everybody else, away or home. And there's nothing better than traveling to like an away arena as a fan and just being that like small little thorn in the side of like everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been done before. I've went into the Lion's Den.
Yeah, you came with me.
I'm not afraid.
The Union fans traveled well.
I mean, it's not that far, I guess, in reality.
Yeah. Right up the turnpike, sort of.
But yes, Eddie says Klopp out or in. I would be shocked if they made some insane move. Again, who are you bringing in? Stevie G? He's having
Brendan Rodgers back. You're gonna try and get Brendan Rodgers back. Like,
I don't think Brendan Rodgers would want to make the step down.
Actually, we talked about that actually one time. He wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Where would he? I wouldn't want to go anywhere if I was him right now. That's a really well-run organization.
Who's Stevie G?
No, Brendan.
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, Stevie G either at the moment. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Killing the Scottish League, man.
Yeah, you're just getting going.
Lord Walker said, I would have preferred to just have played this season in a bubble like the NBA did, play all the games at Wembley, and conduct like an Olympic village. It's not a bad idea.
Fantastic.
Not a bad idea at all. But again, it's
I'm talking about trying to get him. Yeah, that's a long season, though.
Yeah, that's a long time away from family and friends and stuff like that. I guess this ties into the Champions League thing too that we'll bring up. It's like England though is going through their own pandemic. I know we talked about it last week. Like they're getting hit pretty damn hard. So I don't know if London would be the best for an Olympic Village type scenario, but maybe you could find some place that would allow, the travel restrictions. Again, we'll get into this with the Champions League, being played not in England and not having English teams travel to Germany. So we'll get into that later too, but that kind of ties into what Lord Walker just said. That wouldn't be a bad idea. It's just that's a really long season.
They would have had to do a shortened season. They would have had to shorten the season. They would have had to do if it was going to be in a neutral site, you could do one game a team because you're not travel. You don't need a home and away. You could just play everybody once. I mean, that could have been a possible remedy. And yes, Mo, thank you for joining us. By the way, we talk about it all the time. It's a big adaptation. It's more common for a guy to come into the Prem and take a little bit of time to get their feet wet than a guy to just walk into the Prem and take over. It
doesn't really happen a lot. I mean, I guess if you want to call Bruno taking over, but I still wouldn't say he's taking over. Excuse me.
No, he's taken over United. Well. Yeah, he's taken over United. He hasn't necessarily taken over the league. He's been gifted a lot of PKs, but he's played very well. He's played very well. But yeah, in general, you don't just come in and just start dominating. But if you're Liverpool, I think you're hoping to maybe see a little bit more.
Hoping to.
Florida was one of the worst places during the pandemic as well. Play more games. Yeah, you're right.
True. Lord Walker, he's always there for me. Florida's one of the worst places during the pandemic. Also, that way you could play more games during the week, or do suggestion just play one instead of two. Yeah. You play each team one time maybe go through it one.
Yeah.
Instead of the
one run through.
It wouldn't be terrible, but again, it's like you hear all the leagues that did the whole bubble thing. They hated it. They hated being away from family. There's nothing to do. You're doing the same shit every day. It's hard to keep, when you're locked up and locked up loosely. I use that term, but when you're trying to find something to do and there's only, play ping pong or video games or, you kind of probably go a little bit of, you go crazy a little bit. I would assume. So I don't know if some of these divas in soccer, especially, there's divas in some leagues, but LeBron getting his own goddamn suite, like on this whole floor,
his own hotel.
Yeah, he has his own hotel.
Yeah,
you get some of these guys like a Ronaldo. He's living out on like in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in Florida. If he did that on a private yacht or some shit,
with Brady,
kissing kids.
Throwing Super Bowl trophies.
They're just throwing Balloon d'Ors and Super Bowl trophies back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Daly?
What's going on?
We're doing good. We're hanging in. Shooting the shit. NBA, NHL also are traveling. Stop making excuses. Hey. What did I say? I'm just the messenger boy. And my message is to the Liverpool fans,
Here comes all the City fans.
Here comes all the fans, like we were talking about with Lord Walker, when...
Yeah, it's the wave of everybody. It's the Arsenal fans, it's the City fans, it's the Chelsea fans, it's the United fans. It's
all piling on everybody.
Yeah.
When the mighty fall, it's fair game to come out of the woodwork and start... from the top.
Yeah, all the villagers come open up their door and they start dancing in the streets, lighting fires, and they're just, yay!
It's like, yes, the mighty Liverpool is almost defeated.
Yay. And then whoever gets up top next and makes their next run, it'll just be the same. Everybody's going to do the same when City, starts choking and then they start to fall. So
we hate the best, especially in this country. We don't want people to succeed at all. So it's like, yeah, Liverpool, you guys had one of the best years ever last year. You couldn't lose. Everything was falling your way. And now
we hope you fail.
We hope you fail, and you're losing 4 out of the last 6 games in the Prem after only losing 4 games in the whole season last year.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? Will Lord be joining us? That's up to him. I know he likes to have a little bit of notice, but the doors are always open for anybody. You can come on.
Yeah. Anybody want to come on? You're welcome to come on. We have
a pretty open forum where it's just like, if you want to come on and spit some shit with us. We don't care. Yeah. The more the merrier, I always say.
Absolutely.
But no, I don't think I could say what I have to say.
We like when you guys spit. Yeah, we like when you guys spit your stuff, on here or whatever. It gives us even more to run off of. I mean, we have stuff we could talk about all day, but then sometimes we can kind of change it up based off of what everybody else wants to discuss. So, going back to Champions League on Tuesday, we get Barca and PSG as well. So both at 3:00. That's a tough choice. I don't know what we'll be getting local television wise. I don't know who's gonna. I'm sure Barca will get priority over that game, even though it's Liverpool, it's Barca and it's America. So
I guarantee it'll be Barcelona PSG.
Yeah, Neymar, Messi.
Well, Neymar's hurt, so
yeah.
That could have been quite the battle. But yeah,
Mbappe. Whatever.
Mbappe.
Get to see Mbappe.
That's another. That's again as transfer news. It's like I don't even like to see it's like who in their right mind is going to pay or who has the money to pay for Mbappe? First off,
City.
Yeah.
That's it. City.
But I still don't think that Mbappe's first move is going to be to the Prem. That's just my hunch.
I would honestly, for his sake, I would hope not.
I really think he's going to go to Barcelona or Madrid first, do his thing, and then eventually make the switch.
Yeah, probably the wise move.
I for him to be like, go to PSG, well, first Monaco, then PSG, and just to kill it, and then all of a sudden make the switch to the Prem, it's like night and day.
I want to see what Cristiano does, because I feel like this Juventus run's pretty much coming to an end. It wasn't a very long contract. You know, that's got to be coming. There's one more move coming. It's either stay there, I guess, or he's got to be going there's got to be some final resting spot for him too.
Could you
imagine
if he goes
under the radar? But
can you imagine if he goes to the MLS?
He goes to Miami.
I don't need any of that.
He'd dominate at 40. He could come at like 40 and still dominate. He's like a Brady.
I would still watch, but I mean that would be tough.
Yeah.
That's just unfair.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if him or Messi would ever come over to the MLS, it's like game over. That team, that's probably the one time where maybe one guy could carry a whole team to a championship.
They could change, yeah.
Which you
absolutely
never ever happen normally.
Yeah. This is not in that league, but we've seen it a lot of times. One guy just generally does not do that, but they could.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into a little Champions League talk a little more in depth later. That was a nice little teaser. I like that for the people. But we do have some Prem games. We had obviously the Liverpool Leicester game this morning. The Foxes come out with a nice 3-1 win. After I was looking on my phone this morning, I'm like, all right, 1-0 Liverpool. It'll, get back to the win column for them. And then all of a sudden it's like 2-1. I'm like,
yeah, it opened up quick.
It's like, what just happened there?
It was very intriguing. Again, another VAR. I don't even know. I've seen that call get overturned multiple times on VAR, but now this time it didn't, and I'm sure Liverpool fans will have something to say about that because it's them. But yeah, I was actually like, at first they were like, oh yeah, they're going to overturn this. And then they decided not to. But yeah. And then that kind of just opened the door, and it was on from then. Vardy was just outpacing, that defense and making it uncomfortable. And Allison obviously made that crucial error that led to the goal. And then, yeah, it kind of sputtered out from there for them.
Credit to Leicester. They're a good team. They're finally getting, healthy, getting all their, defense back, even though I think James Justin is out for a while. I saw Brendan Rodgers say. So
yeah, but I mean that kid from Ghana looked pretty good at right back with Pereira moving over to left back. So
it's great to see him back.
Defense looks solid. I mean, yeah, they did a pretty good job, kind of holding that Liverpool offense at bay, which hasn't been obviously firing on all cylinders lately by any means. But they didn't allow them to get going after that 1-0 lead.
It's just resilient, the Foxes. I love it, man. I love it.
I'm Paul. I'm not disagreeing that there was anything necessarily wrong with their goal. I'm just saying the inconsistency of VAR because I've seen VAR put that the other way, depending on who the opponent was. Because his arm was clearly, and I know like that it shouldn't. I'm not saying I'm not agreeing that was the right call, wrong call in any sense. I'm just saying that VAR's inconsistency has turned that same play around before. So, and you can see that I have it right here. They have a net of overturned VARs. So that's ones that got overturned and ones that didn't get overturned. And net, Liverpool is -5 and Arsenal is -3 with West Brom -5. They've had the worst or the most that were overturned against them. So, and your Chelsea boys are +3, number 1.
That makes sense.
In favorable VAR, Chelsea and Everton.
I know that's how my man's Jorginho gets his goals.
City and Newcastle also in the pluses. United as well in the pluses. No surprise there.
Yeah, there was some inconsistency before, but VAR is just like, it's been terrible. I should have worn my shirt today because that's another topic that's just, you could go on for days about, like VAR. It's just, there's no, like, what do they have to do to get it right? Get on the same page.
Again, Paul, to me, yes, was there plenty of inconsistency before VAR? Yes. But now you have it. Like, the whole point of it was to avoid the inconsistency, or else you wouldn't have even came up with VAR and worried about having such thing.
Yeah, it must have been such an issue that they had to be like, we need a robot's help.
Well, this is what all sports have gotten.
Right.
They have so much television coverage, they have so many cameras on it that you were seeing it happen. And then people were complaining, so they said, well, we should have a way now to use that and overturn it, which is great if that's how you want to proceed. If you want to take away the human element from it, you want to go that way, awesome. But then you have to get it right every single time. Or else you might as well go back to the other way and just get rid of it. I'd rather do it that way if you can't get it right.
Yeah,
it should never be wrong. It shouldn't be wrong. That's the whole point of it. There needs to be no gray area. There's too much gray area. There's too many inconsistencies in where you're using it and the camera setups. Like, everyone should have the same 5 cameras. Everyone should have everything the same, or you can't use that as a crutch, because if one stadium gets 3 cameras and one stadium gets 5, then you're not getting the same looks at it. You're not, so it's an unfair advantage.
Well, yes, it's, again, there shouldn't be an unfair advantage. It's like the FA Cup against Chelsea and Barnsley. Barnsley just didn't have the whatever. They couldn't get VAR, one of the cameras. It was just not accessible. So VAR was not in that game. And even that goal probably would have been looked at by VAR, most likely. But they're like,
absolutely.
I don't know. We're a lower end club. We don't have money. We don't have the space. We don't have the outlets and the plugs of some of these other stadiums. It's like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
We were built in 1842. Like, I mean, that's...
Upgrade your stadium.
We've never modernized. We don't win enough. I mean, what do you... It's Barnsley.
Hence why being in the top flight is so important. And being in Champions League is so important because guess what? You get that money.
You know how bad I was hoping you were going to lose that game to Barnsley? Just because of our show history with Barnsley.
I know.
Barnsley's been part of this show for a long time.
Exactly, Paul. It shouldn't be like that. If you're gonna do it in the top flight, at least test it out. And if you don't have the capabilities at some of these old stadiums, then I don't know. I think that's like an excuse. Craven Cottage is from like the 1700s.
Yeah.
All right, that's an exaggeration, but it's old.
But yeah, it's old.
You get my point.
But here, and then so that's the thing too. So say these, we're in one competition. We're in an FA Cup. There's a game at Barnsley. They don't have VAR. But in the same competition, in another game in the same round between two other teams that a Premier League team has the home field, they're getting VAR. That's not, competitively, that's not fair.
It should either be universal or nothing.
Right, it doesn't make sense. Then they should just eliminate VAR from the whole competition.
Right. This is what I'm talking about, though, with inconsistencies and way too many gray areas. It's well, you can do this, but then some people can't do this. It's well, what is it? Just come to some some together, figure it out. Figure it out.
Right.
That's all I say. But I don't know why VAR was. It just makes everybody mad at this point. Right. But yes, Liverpool sucks. And I'm just reading through our soccer group chat, and I'm laughing on the inside. And I don't mean to be. Oh boy, here we go.
Your boy, Erling Haaland, levels you up.
There you go. I thought you were going to say something like my boy Chris Wood. I was like, wait, I think he's hurt.
Well, hold on. We have a score alert there, too. Hold on. Who got it? Oh, it was a while ago. I missed it. Matthew Lowton, 3-0 Burnley. Crystal Palace.
It was a naughty volley.
Crystal Palace just doing Crystal Palace things and losing 3-0 at home to Burnley right now.
They said a stat before the game when I was tuning in. They've lost 14 of their last 17 games without Zaha.
And then they always say how much they don't really need Zaha, and Zaha's expendable and sells Zaha.
And you wonder why he wants to leave.
Yeah.
It's well, no shit. You're terrible without. He's like, you guys are terrible without me. Why am I even here?
Yeah.
We've been lucky enough to stay up in the last 4 or 5 years. Palace, I'm sorry. DC, again, I'm coming at the necks of everybody besides my own team and taking accountability for things. I'm deflecting myself.
And the best part for Palace, as bad as it is, there's a bunch that are way worse right now. So they're pretty safe.
Eric, I love you. I love you and Lord Walker. I'm just stirring the pot up.
There he is.
I'm trying to be like Brian and troll people.
Yeah, my troll. I'm just retiring. It got out of hand the other day. I lost my cool. I lost my cool.
What?
You know what? It's perfect segue. Perfect segue into.
Oh my God!
It's time for another sponsor anyway. So life is very frustrating sometimes, and there's a lot of things that I've come a long way in my life, and you can't kind of let people get to you, and you just gotta roll with it sometimes. And I've been so good about it over the last decade of my life, but I had a bad day the other day, and then things were going on, and I lost my cool, but not too far. I was able to rein it in at the last moment before I did anything.
Oh my Lanza, that was it was like
people.
It was like an ongoing little just almost fisticuffs online. It was hilarious to see. And you just follow each other through other posts.
I mean, I don't understand why, there's the negativity needed to come. And like I said, I was wrong in it, and I let it get to me, and that's my resolution. I'm not going to let that happen again.
But
I'm
also,
just going to ignore. Going forward, it's tough in this. Doing this is you got to just not listen to any of it. I'm the better man. So.
Well, yeah, it's like you guys are both very similar, so there was no end in sight with that troll job of the making fun and saying, no, you're the idiot. No, you're the idiot.
Yeah. So.
But hey, I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, it started with a valid, argument too, but whatever.
Water under the bridge, I'm sure he's fine.
I'm not really worrying about him at all. So
no. I don't really know.
But
did you know that You'll Never Walk Alone was first sung at Old Trafford? I love how we're just piling on Liverpool fans. Poor guys. Just kick them while they're down. Well, Dortmund also uses that too. So I could probably go through a lot of teams that somehow adapted that. It's catchy. It's passion. There's a lot of unity in that song. Obviously, You'll Never Walk Alone, but Liverpool seems to be the ones that are synonymous with that at this point, at least. I mean, I did not know they played that at Old Trafford. I feel like that's like, I don't know the origin of the song. I feel like that would be like a good like war song. Like You'll Never Walk Alone. Let's see. We got Ted not completely because teams have to go through jet lag and piped in noise. Yeah, but some of the piped in noise, like the players don't even hear it. Like it's only for TV.
I know a lot of them.
I know NBC, I think, was just for TV purposes. I don't think they actually played that in stadium. I could be wrong. But the jet lag thing would definitely be, I mean, if you're playing in England, you could take the train. Obviously, that's pretty easy. And obviously, some places are like, if you're on the South Coast in Southampton and you got a game up in Newcastle, I'm assuming you might fly into Newcastle because it's literally on opposite ends of the country. Because Newcastle is way up there in the Northeast.
Yeah, there's games that have some bigger travel, but not like we generally go through with the east-west road trips and stuff like that.
No.
So,
but our rail system is shit compared to the UK and Europe.
Oh yeah.
Ted says, "Did you guys watch the? I'm guessing the Bayern nonsense."
No, do you? I'm guessing Super League, like the.
Which one?
Thinking the Turkish Super League. I'm going to be honest. I'll peer into every league. I don't necessarily watch every league. I don't follow every league. I don't have a team in every. But the Greek Super.
Oh, the Greek League. I do like. I know Olympiacos. I know Panathinaikos. I know Greek. One of my Greek buddies is a Panathinaikos fan. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Olympiacos knocked out Arsenal of recent, so I know very well of Olympiacos.
I know AEK Athens.
Yeah, there's some good teams. I think what's his name just went to Olympiacos.
They're fighting for a top 10 spot in leagues.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty close. I think the Greek league might be better than the Dutch league. Maybe that's a good.
I think Papa went there during the transfer window. He went to Olympiacos
because Papa's slow as hell.
Yeah, he'll play well there.
Yeah,
Olympiacos is a good team. They always compete.
I think that's where Daniel Podence came from.
Right, they knocked Arsenal out of Europa.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the. You know Podence well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Lord Walker said, You'll Never Walk Alone is used in a lot of stadiums. Like I said, Dortmund They use their little spin-off of
it's like Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline's used in a lot of stadiums too.
It's a good song. I mean, it is. You hear that shit. I was at the Dortmund game, and you hear that song, and you just are like, whoa. Chills immediately. So I get it. But I think I agree. Liverpool, I think, is the most synonymous and made it probably to be what it is. Obviously, I see YNWA everywhere. So you pretty much know when you see that, that's like a Liverpool fan saying, we're going to be okay. Step away from the ledge. We're fine. And deep down, it's like,
burning. It's burning.
We're white knuckling, boys. Frank, what's up, brother? Thank you.
Good morning.
Frank
thanks
says
for joining us, by the way, and Frank.
Agree the poll. Everybody seems to agree to the poll.
Yeah, it's a. More you look at it too, it's kind of like.
I would love to see somebody with like the pushback and say it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like the players still have to go out and play.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's 100% true, but a lot of guys, to me, are driven off of fans.
Paul coming at us with some stats. I love Paul. Paul and Lord Walker are going to be friends, I feel like. You guys know your history more than maybe Brian and myself. Liverpool started to sing it after it was recorded by Gary and the Peacemakers in 1963. Fun fact.
Wonderful statistic.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Well, not to be forgetting about City fans, I would hate to leave everybody, all you citizens, out in the cold. You also have a nice, pretty good game coming up in an hour against Spurs. What do you think? I don't know. I think Man City's just on this like path of destruction that I think Spurs are in trouble.
We're at a point in the table where in any other case, obviously, I would be rooting against Man City.
You're not rooting for Spurs, are you?
I can't. No, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, I something inside you. Well, like, there's like that little tiny bit as you see. If you're looking at the table and you realize that City has a 4-point lead over Leicester with 2 games in hand before they play today's game, 1 game after they play today's game, you almost have to root for Spurs to keep the table tight the way we like it for better competition.
Yeah.
But it's the Spurs, and they're in 8th place where I need them to stay, and I can't have them get points. And so I'm not rooting for them, but it's one of those games where it's like a draw. Just both get a point and let's move on, because I'd rather that than somebody actually get 3 points out of this and benefit themselves tremendously, because it's a big jump for 3 points when you're in that bottom like 10 to 6 range to get back up to near that 5th spot, because that's what 3 points would do. Like the Spurs would jump right, obviously with other teams needing to play, but that would give them 39. That would put them right back in the hunt with Chelsea and West Ham for that 5th spot, and Liverpool with only 40. City would then, with a win, they're at 53. They're building a gap, so it's like you really don't want either one of them to gain an advantage here. So,
no, not at all. A draw would be. Yeah, I think most of the league would prefer a draw.
Yeah.
If anything, right?
But if City does get the win, I'll gladly dance on Spurs' grave, as usual.
Hey, I didn't say they were City fans, since 20 years ago.
Everyone I met's like 22 years old.
When they got that oil money, people start fans.
Yeah, they were all young kids and early teenagers that when they started to get good and they're like, oh, I'm gonna like this team.
People forget City was like in League Two not so long ago.
Yeah. You don't see many City fans over the age of 30.
Look, I have no room to talk because Chelsea was in the same boat. Once Roman and that oil money started coming in, they freaking have a website, Chelsea, youaintgotnohistory.com, because there really wasn't any history before, like the Roman Abramovich era. Like, I accept that, and City's the same way. It's amazing what money can do. Just the way the world works.
They all can't beat Liverpool and Arsenal, Lord Walker. They all can't.
What absent American owners?
Whoa, one absent American owner.
I don't know. The Henrys aren't exactly. He's better than Kroenke, but
yeah, I would take him 10 out of 10 times over.
Look at Paul trying to come at Lord Walker. I love this. You know that Everton played at Anfield from 1878 to 1892 and left because the guy who owned Field raised the rent. Liverpool was started because Everton left Anfield. Whoa.
Maybe that's why there's some bitterness between.
I was going to say,
clubs.
Yeah. Is that like when the Colts left Baltimore type shit in the middle of the night? Packed up the Mayflower trucks and left.
Well, the Mayflower horse and buggies over there.
Back in
1892.
Yeah,
they were
clopping away.
You weren't even Model T in it, so you were definitely that was a horseback move.
It's probably so loud.
Yeah,
you can't go silent into the night with horses. It's like
no.
It's like, whoa, who is that? Don't worry. Hey, don't worry, we're coming. That was my Scout's terrible accent. LC True. Hey, man. Again, the heart of the club, but
everybody benefits with fans.
Don't make excuses. And don't say that, like, I don't want to touch this sensitive topic because it's, like, I love my mom and we're super close and I would probably go nuts if she did pass away, but, like, the excuse that Jurgen Klopp's mom passed away and that was part of the reason that they're struggling is just horseshit to me. Not to be insensitive, but that was another thing I had on my mind. I'm like, yes, it's got to be terrible to not be able to see your dying mother during a pandemic. And of course, that's going to be weighing on your mind, but would that really have that much effect on the actual team as well?
You wouldn't think it would affect the players quite as much as...
And again, not to be insensitive because she passed away
no.
January 19th as well. But I don't know.
The struggles were kind of happening a little bit prior to that. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, you feel bad, but you can't just hang your. You can't hang it on that.
It. Obviously, that's got to be the worst feeling in the world. But
yeah,
I don't know how many. I don't know what you're gonna like. The grasping at straws is just one of the things that it just is driving me crazy with the Liverpool fan base. And thinking of like this, like the littlest things are excuses now.
Well, I feel like that's the world in general now. There's always something for something. I did this because of this. I did this because you just own it. Like it is what it is. You're struggling. Figure it out. I mean,
yeah.
It might be a struggle. It might be a struggle going forward. I mean, you look like. Great that you bring this Kabak kid in, and he didn't play bad. Like that goal, 100%. We talked about it in the group text. That wasn't his fault. I wasn't saying Sancho's a better center back than Kabak. We talked last week that's Turkish's probably 2 starting center backs, which is pretty cool for them. But I mean, he just clearly is. He looks a little bit better. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit more, he's been in the Prem a little bit longer. This is the kid's first game in the Prem, and you're going against a guy like Jamie Vardy who just, knows how to work you. So you can't, but I mean, it is what it is at this point. Yeah, like you can't make excuses. You got to build off of it. You got to grow off of it, and yeah, aren't playing good right now. You got Champions League. You got something you need to focus. I mean, at this point, sorry to cut you off, but 100% right with that comment. You're now 10 points behind with City having 2 games in hand. Does your focus now completely go to Champions League? Like, do you almost back off your focus of the Prem? Obviously, you don't want to back it off too bad and fall out of your top 4 spot. But do you put more effort now to figuring out your way to win through Champions League and take on a tough Leipzig team?
You got to put your Premier League struggles behind you really quick and focus on this Leipzig team, because you come out and play bad against them, you're gonna get punished bad. Not saying that Leipzig is leaps and bounds better than like a Leicester or something like that, but they got a good squad.
They're a good team. They're one of the better teams in the Bayern Munich farm system.
Fucking hell.
Thank you.
So dumb.
What a great move for them.
So dumb.
David Alaba on his way out. Had a great career.
Yeah, let's just bring in one of the best young, defensemen in the Bundesliga to replace.
Yeah. You gotta replace talent with talent.
Why don't you just take Haaland, for God's sakes, when Louis retires or moves on?
Be careful what you wish for. He is coming from Dortmund. They'll get him at a nice price.
Oh my God! Dortmund, did they tie? Did they end up tying? So now they're sitting in 6th. So they are in some serious danger of not even making Champions League. And then now the money that you're expecting to have to pay some of these big players, you're going to have to start selling them off.
And here's the thing. Now you got to focus on Champions League now too.
Against a pesky Sevilla squad.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Thank God we're going to Spain. No, is it in Spain? Are they allowed to go to Spain?
I think they are. I don't think this is a neutral. I think Germany and Spain are 2 that are like they're okay to travel between.
Yeah, do not bet on Dortmund. Do not. Eric, I repeat it. Do not bet Dortmund going to Sevilla. Bet against them, probably. Take Sevilla.
And Juventus travels to FC Porto also on Wednesday. So.
We've seen Juve kind
Champions League games for us there.
Yeah, we've seen Juve kind of take Champions League a little lightly, especially last year.
Yeah.
Wasn't that didn't Leon beat them? Was that?
Yeah, it was. So how about the run that Sevilla's been on of recent? They've been playing pretty well in league competition, and obviously winning the Europa last year was huge for them, and now they're taking on a Dortmund team that's kind of struggling a little bit. So it's an opportunity for them to kind of maybe strike here.
A little
bit. They're sitting in 4th in La Liga too. So I mean, this Sevilla team's not you're just not going to come through and take them down.
I'm not looking forward to it. To put it nicely, I am not looking forward to that at all. I'm ready to punt Mats Hummels to the moon. Let's just say that.
Yeah, they just took down Barca in the first leg of the Copa del Rey, 2-0. at home. So beat
Not
Getafe 3-0.
Not good.
They've been just beat Valencia not too long ago. They're on a nice little run here, Sevilla. Damn, they're on a really good run actually. They haven't lost since January 12th, and they lost to Atletico.
Just rub it in.
Just preparing you for your opponent. That's all.
It's like, do I even want to watch it? Honestly, like, what the fuck,
dude? I told you where I'm at still with this whole Europa coming up too. I mean, do I really want to sit down and watch Arsenal just struggle against Benfica? I don't know. Like,
don't know.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm going to, but I hope that we get some kind of different results. But I am not overwhelmingly optimistic at this point.
My roasting of Liverpool isn't sitting well with Lord Walker.
I'm sure it wasn't going to. We knew that.
He wants to come in for a rebuttal. We might give him the time.
Pete, what's up, brother? Yeah, man.
What's up, Pete?
I agree. 100%. It's getting to the point now, where you are starting to see it, I think, across the board in a lot of sports.
Well, like, for real, it's like you might as well play at like a neutral site stadium.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally like the NBA tries so hard to, I'm taking the Sixers, and even the Flyers. They're like building these platforms like in the stadiums. And, you still have like Gritty like running around being an idiot. And then you still have like the Sixers drum line trying to like fuck with the other team. But it's like,
it's not. It's still not
really
the
going
same.
to do. Like, some of these guys have played in front of like 60-some thousand plus people before. Like, it's not one guy in like a dog costume. Franklin is not going to throw like a guy like Carmelo Anthony off, who has played at every level at a high, at a high level. It's just so funny, but I don't see that in soccer. I don't see the mascot running up and down the touch line screaming.
No.
I don't see the Red Devil being in the back of the net like, ah. That's why we're American. We love the antics and the showmanship.
Oh, yeah. Minor league baseball, perfect example.
Coming back. Let's go. Ooh, bad injury to a Burnley player.
Oh.
How bad? We talking like leg break bad? Or like head injury bad?
Kevin Long replaces Ben Mee because of an injury, it says. So
no,
Ben Mee's been playing. Ben Mee's been playing pretty well for them too. So.
I respect Benny. He's a good captain.
Yeah, so that could be very hurtful to a Burnley team that seemed to have turned it around ever so slightly, just enough to get out of that kind of relegation talk, kind of separating from Fulham there. I think they were 8 points clear, so if they pick up, they're going to pick up another 3 here. That'll put them 11 points clear of Fulham. Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield, bro. You look at that, like that's those 3. I think are we at a point where we can pretty much say, outside of a miracle, that those are the 3 that are leaving?
I think that's what it's pretty much shaping up to be. I mean, the points, because Burnley is 7 points ahead of Fulham.
So if Burnley wins this game, they'll be 11 points ahead of Fulham.
Okay, 11.
They'll actually jump Newcastle temporarily. Newcastle will move to 17th, 10 points clear of Fulham.
That's fair.
Fulham does have a game in hand. But I mean, you got Sheffield with 11, West Brom with 12, Fulham with 15. And now, Burnley will bump up to 26, Newcastle at 25, Brighton at 25. Brighton's been playing pretty well. Wolves are actually dropped a lot.
I think it's pretty much set in stone at this point that hole that Sheffield definitely, they're not going to crawl out of that. They dug themselves way too deep. West Brom is
West Brom
not
too,
that good of a team.
Minus 36, bro. They're minus 36.
The Big
and
Sam
only a
effect.
Point ahead of Sheffield at this point. Yeah.
Not happening. Sorry, Sammy.
Back on my negative Sam talk now that they're not playing Spurs.
Sammy Allardyce catching the hands.
Sammy relegations. Sammy relegations.
Poor guy. That was a tough spot to put him in, but not even. Yeah.
He didn't have to say what he said.
He did. He did.
You ever play FIFA? You get 3 choices to answer that question. He chose the wrong choice.
He did. He fucked his morality up for his squad.
he did. Yeah.
Negative impact.
Yes.
I just want to go through some of the games, I guess. Eric, we will bring on Lord Walker. That'll be a good way to end the show, so he can. Yeah. I know he's got some defending to do because while we'll
allow that.
We're kicking Liverpool's ass right now verbally. So I'll give him his time to shine to come back at us. I'm pretty much made of Teflon because I know that Chelsea sucks and has a lot of issues.
Yeah, what am I able to say? Nothing.
Neither of us can say much of anything, so
yeah.
I am a bulletproof vest on. I'm fine. So he could come on eventually. No doubt.
We just got to beat Leeds tomorrow. That's all.
Minus 36 is colder than Russia.
Yes.
What is Lord of? He's Lord of Phoenix, Arizona. He's Lord of Walker, of the first kind. House Walker, little GOT. He's the Duke of Hastings for all my Bridgerton people out there. Shout out. I know nothing. I was in England one time.
One time.
Just once. Beautiful.
He was stretched off, huh? Lord is his birth name.
Lord is his birth name, see?
There you go, Paul. There is your answer. You ask a question and you receive an answer.
That's how this works. All right, so let's talk about some of these games before we bring the noble one on. So later today, not much going down. We got Brighton hosting Villa. I actually like Brighton in this game for some reason as my bold prediction. I don't know why. I think Brighton's playing some really good football recently, defensively at least. I think Graham Potter is an underrated manager. I know I'm going to get slandered for that as well. But suck my ass. I don't care. I think he's a great manager.
They're home.
They are home.
Whether that makes any difference or not with the poll question. But,
speaking of the poll, that we're not we're going with it. It doesn't matter probably at the Amex. But yeah, I don't know. I think that the defensively, Brighton has been fantastic. They seem to have figured out their back, like the Dan Burn, Louis Dunk, Adam Webster, and Ben White seem to have a pretty good, I don't know what the word is, connection back there. Continuity. That's probably better.
In the words of the great Walt Frazier.
Good continuity. As if they could just get someone else to score the ball besides maybe like a random Malpa, or even Louis Dunk's been scoring a lot from set pieces and shit. So.
Troussard gets his random one here and there.
Yeah, Aaron Connolly, I think, fell off the face of the earth. I haven't heard from him in a while, unless he's hurt. But yeah, for some reason, I think Brighton, they're either going to win or they're going to win 1-0. I don't know why.
Danny Welbeck, 81st minute substitution goal.
God, wouldn't that make the best day ever?
Oh, he's got one of those this year already. He's
one.
He loves being a goal.
Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, he got out of Watford. I mean, what more could you ask for? He was one of the lucky ones who found his way out of Watford and back to the Prem. So
he could only be so lucky to get out of that terrible situation.
Yeah. It's quite the gift.
Eddie says, "Does Burnley hold on to Sean Dyche?" I wouldn't see why not.
I mean, we talked about it. He is right now the longest tenured coach in the Prem since 2012 now. So he's got a 9-year run going.
He's a freaking beauty. I don't care. This guy's amazing.
He's gotten them out of that relegation zone. And as bad as those other 3 teams, like we said, are playing, probably safe. Another win or two. Grab a few more points, a couple draws, 10 more points in the last 16 games is probably enough. As bad as those other teams are.
I mean, this win today probably pretty much. I think they would be pretty safe.
Yeah, it's weird.
They do just enough. I think Burnley's pretty happy. It's like, all right, Sean, what's our goal for the season? Just stay.
I mean, the guys found a way to stick them around all these years with the way Burnley has been doing things. So maybe new ownership comes in and realizes, hey, we actually give this guy something. Maybe we can win some games instead of just be relevant and stick around, at the last minute. So if I was ownership, I would give him a shot. If I planned on coming in and actually spending some money and trying to improve this club, why not go with the guy who's been there, who knows the kind of the Burnley way and can get things done. Maybe give the guy some actual talent. Not saying those guys are
bad.
all.
It's not a terrible roster.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a very. It could be where it was very untouched from last year. Literally, it was like, all right, here you go again, same guys.
Well, when you're relying on Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes as your striker and an old kind of on the decline Jay Rodriguez to score goals, I mean, it's not exactly a formidable 3 to get the boys going. I don't know.
Yeah,
and they're gonna.
If you are losing,
you sell Nicky Pope off.
Yeah.
You sell him. I'm sure there's some suitors for the young keep.
Losing Ben Mee is going to hurt.
Is this about Sean Dyche? Oh my God, that's great. If you listen to that Sean Dyche, I swear to God, that interview presser from a week ago, this guy seems like a freaking handful. So I wouldn't be surprised if his wife is like, fuck you, Sean. Dude, we banter. This is what we do. We just shoot the shit.
Yeah.
We banter about our other every team's misfortune. Brian's an Arsenal fan. I'm a Chelsea fan. And then we have a lot of Liverpool fans on here. And we just banter. We know our teams are not perfect and misfortunes are there. So we just take little jabs at each other. It's all love here.
Yes.
Burnley
we got to no, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
No.
Sponsors, I was forgetting.
Yeah.
I've been forgetting a lot.
Well, we talked about the other poll earlier, and we could put the sponsorship to the other poll as well.
Yeah. Well, when we talk about Chelsea here in a little bit, I'll bring that back around town.
Okay.
But yes, I think we should So yes, one of our new sponsorships. If you haven't been with us, if you're new like Paul, we got Body Check Wellness. If you're familiar with the NHL, Riley Cote, former Flyer, is part of this business adventure. It's basically like using the hemp product, which has been so popular recently. As time goes on, they're learning about how hemp has been really helpful with recovery. So Body Check Wellness basically focuses on that, ingredient as their main component here. So they're going to have, your extracts, your gummies, your topicals, any ointments. I've had and used a hemp-based lotion before. When you're sore, we're getting old. You go outside. All the shoveling I've been fucking doing recently with all the snow, I am a sore son of a gun. So I'm going to buy some Body Check Wellness stuff for sure, because I saw the good boss Tommy got some and it looked pretty awesome, and he swears by it, so I believe the boss man. So if you use our code A2D, you'll get 20% off of your order at bodycheckwellness.com. Again, try it out. You're getting some really good discounts for a lot of good products. You could get the wellness package I saw Tom got. You get like 4 different things. And it's like one of the most amazing bargains and deals that you could possibly have.
Yeah, well, we've talked about here on A2D, it's all about getting yourself right physically, mentally, obviously with the good Dr. Paul, and now with Body Check joining us. And then, we'll talk about our last sponsor later in the show. But everything's about getting yourselves right. So great company, great guys to have. Again, good products. I'm going to check out some as well because it's tough getting old, man. I've been going out and trying to run a little bit with my soccer club that I'm coaching, getting the mix with them a little bit. And
got to get in shape, baby.
I'm out of shape. So after playing the other day, I told you I was debuting the other night. I played for about 4 minutes, a little bit of indoor, just to mix it up with the boys a little bit, and realized how out of shape I am. I literally went and, because obviously they're not a sponsor of the show, unnamed, and went to a local gym and signed up the next day. So I got to get on the better side of it before I hit 40. I got a year till 40 now. So yeah, we got to keep ourselves right. So this is another great way to do it with Body Check.
Awesome. And yeah, just Paul, welcome, sir. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, man. We do. We really appreciate everybody, the newest of the people coming. We're here every Saturday outside of any unforeseen circumstances. Things do happen, obviously, in life. So we're flexible. Sometimes we move to a Friday or a Sunday. But ultimately, we're here every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 2-hour show. So we'd love for anybody to join us at any time. Spread the word. The more people we get in here, the more banter we get, the better our shows are. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, we really appreciate checking us out and all the knowledge that people drop and bring to us. So you could check us out on pretty much every platform, anywhere that you can get a podcast, any social media platform. Obviously A2D is the main. So check out all the good shows too. I don't know if Paul, you or anybody else obviously is into other sports as well, American sports, combat sports, pretty much everything A2D has to offer. Yeah, so
a little bit of everything.
Check all the other guys out as well. But thanks, man.
And I know it's probably like you're going to go back and tell your friends like, hey, I found these American guys are talking about the beautiful game. And you just want to say, hey, they know what they're talking about. I swear to God, Americans know a little bit of football. The good football, not American football.
This one, what do we?
Soccer,
as
like we call it. But yeah, again, appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully we have your support. I guess it would be 3:30 p.m. your time when it starts. So It's a nice middayer.
Afternoon.
All right, so tomorrow we'll run down this quickly because I do want to hear what Lord Walker has to say. I promise.
Yeah, I want to make sure
we'll give him his spiel. So tomorrow, 7:00 a.m., we got Southampton versus Wolves. Southampton on a bit of a skid.
A little bit.
A little bit of a skid. And honestly, Wolves is one of those teams where it's like I can't put my finger on it. Obviously, they're missing, the scoring from Raul Jimenez, like we all know that. I don't know what's going on with Traore this season. I don't know if he's just not getting the opportunity. Is he the confidence just isn't there, or what's going on with him, or just a flash in the pan? I don't know.
I think we talk about it in a lot of sports. Just like any other sport, there's film on you now, and guys know how to kind of control you. And when you don't have that threat of Jimenez in the middle, defensively, you can kind of control him more to the outside and not worry about what's going on as much in there. So, it's that. But yeah, they're having some issues. Definitely, when you lose games like they've lost games, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, and their injury bug has been bad. Podence missed some time, and obviously it's been able, Pedro Neto has been stepping up well, and obviously, I forget, I'm losing my shit. Ruben Neves, actually. I was drawing a blank.
Yeah, Neves has been playing well for Wolves.
Again, Portugal FC has been.
Yeah. No surprise with the boss in there. But these teams just met the other day in an FA Cup fixture, and Southampton did get the better of them. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how these two teams come out in this game. The Wolves had really struggled and fallen outside of that win against Arsenal, which makes that loss for Arsenal even worse. But yeah, you're looking at the table, the Wolves are kind of in that Burnley area, that Burnley Newcastle area. So,
which is kind of surprising. But
yeah, and Paul said, yeah, they did. Espirito kind of tried to change things up a little bit, make some adaptations. Obviously, we talked about losing Jota has been big for them. They haven't quite been the same team offensively as well since he's been gone. So between the combo of losing Diego Jota and Raul Jimenez, that was a huge percentage of your scoring in the previous year. It has been a bit of a struggle, but
dude, even
they're going to do enough.
Even like Matty Doherty, losing him, bombing down the wings last year.
Yeah,
he was a good offensive.
Yeah, Semeno's been okay, but he hasn't quite got there yet either. They've had some guys out of position. This Kilman guy's been jammed at left back due to injuries, and he does not look like much of a left back. But guys have to step up, and guys have to do what they need to do for the team, especially in the situations we're in now. So they're not in a horrible spot. They'll do enough, I think, to stay steady with the Prem like we talked about. But it should be a good game, I think. It should be a good game tomorrow morning. Yeah,
and I think we both have pretty good respect for, Nuno as a coach. So I'm sure, with him at the helm, I don't see them, dipping off too badly. I think for some reason, this was like the battle of the draw kings of last season.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of predicting probably around like a 1-1 draw in this one.
Yeah. Two teams with some familiarity to each other, and no one wants to make a big mistake probably in this one. I don't know. Southampton has been finding a little bit better way to score, though. I'd probably see them taking this one at home.
All right. So again, tomorrow 9:00 we got West Brom against United. I mean, what can you really say? What can you really say about it? I mean, how many goals are United going to put up on the Baggies?
Yeah, everybody's obviously outside of United fans is rooting for West Brom in this one, just for a short week. So, Sam, I'll like you for a couple hours tomorrow morning, but most likely we know what we're getting out of this one.
We know what's going to happen. It's what
I mean. You never want to say, because we talk about how this league is crazy and we get those surprises each week, and why we love this league is because any day anybody can beat anybody. But when you look at it in reality, the likelihood is low that West Brom's going to come and get much out of this game.
Yeah, there's been parity. There's been some shock results we've had this season. So, again, we can't say that it's going to be a definite. But, again, when you have a negative 36 or whatever West Brom has goal differential, and the way that United, they could score, they could put up 9. They've done it. So,
yeah,
it's going to be a tall task. I think West Brom's going to have to play pretty close to perfect and get at least some scoring. Either Pereira, Diangane, he's finally healthy. Maybe he's gets on the score sheet.
These United fans are definitely big Spurs fans for today's game, because with their game, obviously against an inferior competition, if they could get the Spurs to do something for them, I'm sure that would be very beneficial.
Yep. Very true. Again, the
Sheffield beat Man U the other week. Yeah, I know. We know. Like we said,
I don't know.
You never know. But if I had a few bucks to put down, I would pretty much assume United runs through this.
Hammer United.
But one team did not hammer
your boys tomorrow
at home.
How fun against Leeds.
Just Leeds.
Not easy.
Not going to be an easy task. I'm interested to see the formation that's going to come, who's going to play, who's going to be available. Really need Kieran Tierney back. Like, I can't express it more than that. This team is just – it's not the same without him. There's a lot of guys that are interchangeable, I think, at this point with this Arsenal team. There's still a lot of question marks with this Arsenal team. He is not one of them. This team performs tremendously better with him in the lineup. I don't know if he's fit yet. It's still way up in the air. I just want to see this team like full and healthy. Again, I still have some frustrations. I don't know. We still have some issues still on defense. I'd like to see the pairing of Gabriel and Rob Holding kind of just take over the rest of the year and see what you got there. I know my buddy Saliba's not been very happy, had some choice words about Arteta and his loan process and not getting an opportunity, I guess, with Arsenal's defensive struggles and why they brought him in to keep loaning him out when they're having issues on defense. I don't disagree. I'm completely over Bellerin. I wish that Tierney could get healthy so Cedric could slide back over to the right side where he's way more comfortable, even though he played like shit the last game. But that was on the left side, and you could tell he likes to get on that right foot and get to the outside, and that right foot brought him to the middle of the field and cost us the only goal of the game. So I'd like to see this team healthy. I'd like to see Thomas. He was playing good. Now he's knocked again. I'd like to see Odegaard in there starting with him. It's kind of a pipe dream at this moment. So my expectations again are not high for the game. I'm going in looking for 3 points as you always do at home. But Leeds has been in pretty decent form all year, and they're kind of a bright spot out of all the teams that did come up. They are the brightest at this point. So should be a good game. Should definitely be a good game to watch.
It should. It's one of the more intriguing matches, I think, of the weekend. It's one of those games where both teams, you just never know what you're going to get. Like Leeds could put up 4 goals, and they could also give up 4 goals. Arsenal, they can come out and, they could see the exciting Arsenal team, with Smith Rowe when that team was kind of like free flowing. Or you could just see nothing from Arsenal. You could see a 1 goal. You could see a struggle. You could see a red card from Arsenal. Shock, right? I know.
Oh my God.
There's a lot to unpack with this one because both teams are just kind of like all over the place. So it should make for an entertaining game, though. I'll give you that.
Absolutely. And then the last. Oh yeah, yeah, it is. There's a lot of parity in the Arsenal lineups. Arteta's had to run out multiple lineups with a whole bunch of different people. But I think the problem is still trying to sort the good from the bad. Yeah, I know it's exactly what it is. He was given a lot of bad. I mean, he's already I've talked in other shows. I know it's your first time joining us, but he's gone in and he's removed a lot of issues, and it's slowly here and there. Again, David Luiz's contract's due up coming this summer. I guarantee there's no way they can extend him again. Adam first met me when they extended him for the 1 year, and I lost my mind. It was one of Adam's, I think, first experiences of me just completely losing my shit over Arsenal when they extended David Luiz the last time. Mm-hmm. So let's hope, that things are moving in the right direction. He's sorting things out and going into next transfer where we really have a legit identity and a legit starting 11. With a decent bench. But yeah, we'll get off them. Actually, Paul, your team is our last one for tomorrow. You get Everton taking on Fulham. So this is a big one for Everton, kind of getting their form back a little bit. Trying to keep pace with everybody in the European chase for that 4th spot. Fulham, bad team, just not doing it. We talked about that again. Probably a team that maybe should never even have made it back here. They caught a little lightning in the bottle in the playoff there from the championship. A little bit of luck, stole that last spot, and they're looking like a team that is heading right back down. So Everton needs to come out, handle their business, and take 3 points here, definitely.
Well said. Couldn't have said it better myself. So then tomorrow, last game of the day, Everton, the Toffees, Paul's Everton boys, taking on the Fulham lads.
Yeah.
Everton's actually been. Did you watch that FA Cup game against the Everton Spurs game the other day?
I did.
How wild was that?
that might
have been the best game of the season.
That game did my heart really well to see them just stay into that game, and every time Spurs looked like they had a little bit of life, Everton came right back and took it from them. And anytime Spurs are eliminated from anything, it's a great day. So Paul and I, great day for you to be joining us, Paul, because I'm a big Everton guy this week with that win. So appreciate you guys handling. And since we can't win an FA Cup, at least the Spurs can't win an FA Cup. So
only one London.
Like I told Adam this week, we had to leave it for somebody. After a while, it gets old.
You got to pass it down. Come on.
Somebody else can have one. We have bigger fish to fry, like 10th place. So
there you go. They haven't lost to Fulham at home in 40 years or so.
Yeah, let's not start a trend today, buddy.
I just don't see it, Paul. I don't know, man. We saw
keep it going.
Richarlison sighting, which hopefully that gets him going a little bit. Maybe gets the confidence going.
I need James to get back going the way he was to start the year because I'm in a big fantasy battle this week with your Pops, I think. Pretty sure.
Oh, the league leader.
The league leader. I'm going, so it's weird. I don't know if you looked, but some guys get 2 games this week. I don't know how they figured that, but certain guys this week and next week get 2 games. So
that's why this Premier League site is like horse crap.
Yeah, it sucks, but whatever. I'll take it.
Whatever.
Come on, James. Let's have a big game against Fulham.
Come on, you toffee.
I need this dub.
Fulham get bent. Eric, stop trolling, Eric. You're not a Fulham fan.
You'll
just root for anybody against Everton.
Oh, you got to go to that game. That's awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, they did let some people in Liverpool for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Or the Liverpool teams.
That was actually a good game. Obviously better for Paul than me, but that was a competitive game. I remember that game.
I mean, that's at least you got to go to a game. Us over here, we haven't even touched anything in the last year almost, which is so sad to say.
Yeah, I see. I mean, we're starting to get a little bit popping back open, so I'm hopeful by the time April rolls around and our MLS season gets started, hopefully we'll be able to get in and get to one of these games. I don't know how all these narratives are going. I see all these crazy, certain venues are gonna require that you've either had a vaccination or that you can prove that you've taken a negative test within a certain amount of days before entering. I don't believe in that. I think that's absolutely horseshit. No. But it's going to be a thing in certain areas of this country, and it may, neglect from me attending any sporting events. So we'll see how that goes, but there's been some. I know they said that for the Islanders, for hockey, that they are going to require some kind of documentations in order to be one of those 1,000 fans or whatever is allowed in the stadium. So, I don't know. Not sure what's going to happen, but I mean, we are luckily with most of our football, our soccer, where they're outdoor events. We don't have many domes in this league, so. We'll see.
True that.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2 more, and then we'll get Lord Walker.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to get him on.
All right. So. West Ham and Sheffield on Monday.
More confidence for West Ham. They're not going anywhere. They're playing good.
No. They're probably the best London club so far.
They still are, yeah. As of now, they're still
consistent level, but
still the top club in London at the moment. So,
and I mean, I give credit to Sheffield. They're playing a little bit better as of late. They're actually looking like they give a shit out there. So,
yeah,
maybe Chris Wilder's job will be safe at season's end if he can make some sort of run, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I don't think. I mean. I don't know if his job should be in jeopardy regardless. Tough situation they're in right now, but we'll see.
All right, last one. Chelsea versus Newcastle on Monday. Chelsea's defense, great under Tuchel. Chelsea's offense under Tuchel, not good. Again, clinical. Where is my finishing? Where's the finish? Just shit. Shit. The final third is shit. Just not good at all. Nobody looks confident. We talked about this with Pulisic. Are we concerned? Yes, a little bit. Not on the ledge yet with his form. Because you don't know what's going on in the guy's life or what's going down, but it's not good. All these guys you paid big money for have not lived up to any of what they were supposed to be.
Well,
with Ziyech,
I mean, we talk
with Werner, with Havertz. Havertz doesn't even see the field, for God's sakes. You know, that's looking more and more every day like a goddamn bust. So, I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. I know.
It's a frustrating time, even though the way they have been.
It's definitely a bit of a struggle. It's definitely a bit of a struggle for you. You got to find something. But like you said, it could be you know, you know, in their heads a little bit. Stress, anxiety.
It has to be.
We talk about it, and we'll give a shout out here to our last sponsor in there too. Obviously, we say, you know, many of our families deal with mental health and addiction issues, and there's people to support it. And the counseling center in Sunrise Detox is the one that kind of, you know, our go-to in our area. If you need any help with mental health therapy, addiction detox, you can call 856-651-8117. Tell them Tom from A2D sent you. Obviously, the boys from Kickin and Stateside sent you. And we say, you know, it's a serious issue. It's a serious issue in regular life. It's a serious issue in sports. And sometimes these guys are having a bad run of things, and you just assume that, you know, it could be just they're not playing well, but sometimes it is other things going on in their lives, good or bad, that kind of drive them. So if you are, you know, if you personally are dealing with issues, I could see how it could affect your life and your work and your family. So there's help, and these are the guys that are here to help. You know, and you hope for these players' sake that it's nothing like that. And maybe it's just obviously just a bad run of form. But I did want to, you know, make sure we get our shout out into them and let everybody know, you know, that is there. And like we always say, you know, Paul, you're joining us for the first time. This is our safe zone. This is our place to come hang out every Saturday for a couple hours and talk about the beautiful game and kind of forget all of life's craziness. Obviously, except for when our teams struggle, then it just compacts on top of everything.
Yeah, we bottle it up. But that's
we find good ways to laugh it off, man. We find good ways to laugh it off. Dude, if you can't laugh it off a tough L and things like that, then you got, you know, and get some help. See these guys.
Humor is the best remedy, pretty much all the time. Just laughing laughing at, like, I could laugh at ourselves. Like, Chelsea is not that great. Arsenal is always in shambles. And now Liverpool
is, that are out of our control. You know, we think we have control. We think I'm going to put this jersey on backwards today and Pepe's going to score 4 goals. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So those things are out of our control. We love to see when our teams succeed, but we can't help it when they don't. We just hope for the best and hope that they're giving their best, wearing that shield that we support. So, and speaking of supporting a shield, let's get this man on.
Lord, I sent you the link, my friend.
Shield. He supports his shield just as good as anybody we know. You could see it by his backgrounds when he comes on here.
Hey, Big Dunk is the muscle. You steal something from Carlo, Big Dunk's coming to your house, kicking your ass.
Oh yeah, again, it's Paul's first time joining us. Big Dunk fan here.
Brian is a huge Duncan Ferguson fan.
Duncan Ferguson would whoop Sam Allardyce's ass.
Oh, wouldn't it be a fight? I think it'd be over in 2 seconds.
Big Dunk takes out Big Sam all day, every day.
Then Hayden Mullins takes out Big Dunk.
Hayden Mullins comes out like that little WWE heel, hits Big Dunk from behind with a chair, takes the title.
Boom. Write that up, Vince McMahon.
Yeah. And then UEFA comes down and hands title to Pep.
Speaking of that, we have a great show in this very ring is A2D Radio talking about WWE and all that. I forget AEW. Yes.
NWA,
all that good stuff. Our good friend Andy and Butters spitting facts about the good old
hopping on there
pro wrestling. So if you're interested in that, we got it for you.
Yep, we got it all here at A2D. So
we're just waiting for Lord Walker, House of Hastings of the second kind.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left here, so we're gonna let him kind of take us out.
There he is. So without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, Lord Walker.
Oh, Paul said he'll try to get him on here for you,
sir. Hello.
How's it going, fellas?
It's going. How are you feeling?
Well, having to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, basically, to get ready for a 5:30 game. It's pretty tough to say that I'm feeling great.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, so
brutal.
for all of us that are just joining us, Lord Walker's over on the West Coast, so obviously it's even harder with our game starting, on our East Coast at 7:30 a.m. Over there, it's definitely you got to really be a big time fan to set your alarm and get up to watch those games. Before we let Lord Walker take the stage, I just want to comment, Paul. If you could do that, brother, that would be awesome. You get Big Dunk on our show, man. I will forever be indebted to you. You can hit me up on any of our socials. We are on Facebook, Twitter, at Stateside. You see it on my name. That would be phenomenal. So, again, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate having you. So, my man, it was a tough morning. Stage is yours.
It was. I'm not going to lie. Look, it was a tough morning. I definitely wanted to come in and give some basically give some real solace to my fellow Red fans because we really don't need to allow for the banter and for the loudness that continues to grow and grow and grow, despite the fact that our form has been suffering, to really affect us. Because that's when rot occurs in a home, in a foundation, it starts to spread. And the last thing you want to have is we as Red fans to be an ample reason for that rot to continue to spread and to continue to grow. And that's something that I'm not going to tolerate, something that I'm going to continue to say, hey, I'm not going to say we just need to rest on our laurels, but I mean, we have won major accomplishments in the last couple of years. And I think that we have a bright future ahead of us still. It's a dip, and I get that it's a dip. And, it's definitely troubling to see it from a goaltender that I think is one of the best goaltenders in the world. It's definitely difficult to see it when, you can see it in the energy and the belief. And that's something that I can't say enough. Look, I go to my supporter club at Crown Public House in Phoenix all the time. And one of the things I've realized, even by going to different supporter clubs all over the country, because I make it a habit to do that now if I travel and I'm in those areas, is that last year there was an experience, there was a feeling, there was this vibe, energy that just originated with every time we are on the pitch. You just believed that something good was going to happen, no matter how far down. And I could say this, everyone was poke fun and this and that. Having realized what we did when Barcelona came to Anfield, that alone should make any Red fan, supporter say, hey, keep breathing. I get that mathematically, until we're eliminated, I always say you never know what's going to happen. If all of a sudden, hypothetically, Manchester City has their entire back line basically go out, hey, they're in trouble. If we see what's going on at Manchester United. I mean, I think that the absence of Pogba was shown in their last game. It's shown in their last game. As soon as he stepped out, it was shown. Mm-hmm. So to undersell the importance of key players, of the synergy of teams, to the importance of the camaraderie that you have in that locker room that creates that vibe. And also, as many of my fellow Reds fans and fellow Reds supporters have said, hey, we are the backbone of this team. We make this team go. Even despite me being a global fan, I know that those people in the stands, those people that are there, make a difference when it comes to a game. And albeit we weren't at home at Anfield, but still all the same, those things are important to note. And it's a different world that we're living in right now with this pandemic. And it sounds again like when explanations become excuses, it seems like, everyone wants to pile on and say, we don't have time to hear excuses. We don't have time to hear excuses. I'm not necessarily trying to make excuses. I'm just saying, hey, this is what's happening. This is what is relevant, and we need to rise above it. And that's as simple as that. And I'm hopeful that we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're just dealing with unfortunate circumstances at this point. And that it is what it is. But like you said, there's so much of recent to be proud of and be happy of, and resiliency and fight and everything that, like, to be, I would trade the last few years with you any day of the week. You know what I mean? Like, for what I've gone through as an Arsenal fan over the last 3 to 4 years, and what you've been able to go through as a Liverpool fan through that build of Klopp, and to reach both pinnacles of winning the league and a Champions League in that time. I mean, what else could you ask for? You got the two things that you asked that man to do. Absolutely. Philly Sports Passion 85 has its own point. Look, it's not that I'm saying we need to give up on the Premier League this season. Hey, but we can shut everyone up if we do well in the Champions League. And that's your stage now. That is the stage that we need to shine. We need to figure out some way of bringing our form. Maybe it'll be helpful to get out of England or something, kind of like get a new fresh start. Whatever it is, we need to figure it out. But I believe that if there's any manager that can do that, it's Klopp, because I still believe he's the best manager in the world. And I think that as long as he doesn't lose the locker room, which I don't believe he has, we can continue to, strive for European brilliance. And that's what I really hope for.
Yeah. I mean, you got to put the bullshit of the league behind you and come out on Tuesday fired up, or
absolutely.
It's going to be a long night.
And you know that man has no desire to be losing games to Leipzig.
No, absolutely.
He's that's not going to be acceptable to him.
Dude, Julian Nagelsmann is a young Jurgen Klopp.
Yes,
that up and coming German manager.
I get that, but that up and coming German manager has. I mean, it's not like Jurgen Klopp didn't win anything before he came to Liverpool. He won plenty before he came too. Yeah, exactly.
with a lot less.
The comparison, that's great. That's the comparison of him being a young Klopp. Yeah, absolutely. He could blossom into a young Klopp, but win something first, Yeah. And then I could say yes, that makes sense.
I mean, Nagelsmann's only like 35 though, so
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm not knocking him. I'm not trying to say anything negative against him. I'm just saying that more so, he needs to definitely, have a little bit better of a resume underneath him to be able to say, hey, I'm the next Klopp, or I am
Leipzig had control of the Bundesliga at one point last year and totally lost it. So
exactly.
Was Nagelsmann, was he at Hoffenheim before?
That I don't know. I'd have to look up that.
He was at some other German club, I thought, before he got the Leipzig job, but I can't remember which one.
Well, let me say this too, because let me just knock out some of and give some fire for my fellow Red fans. Look, the Kepa comparisons are so insulting. All right, that it is beyond.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I
never said that. That was Eddie.
Yeah.
Is Eddie still here?
That's not but Eddie's not the only person that said that.
I know. That's the crazy part.
I mean, that's just all it is. And then how so many people are like, oh, well, I call this. Look, everyone can say a bold statement of saying, oh, especially when it's routed in hate, or and I say hate in a loving way, but I mean routed in hate, and say of someone like when you don't like a team, you want to see their downfall. You want to see them perform not as well or not have any glory. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of people who have said, "Oh well, Liverpool's not, that was a fluke," and and they're not going to be able to pull this out, or now we're seeing who the true Liverpool team is. And I say to them, come on, reality is what it is. Reality is what it is.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Now I know that he's definitely an Everton fan because he's trying to put that jinx on us right now.
Yeah.
Reverse psychology. You shouldn't really be bothered.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it is different that without a home stadium to play in front of. It's a major difference. And that is something that, again, people tend to overlook and tend to undersell, I should say. And I think it's, so far this year, it's Chelsea, Aston Villa, Southampton, and West Ham, and Tottenham that have shown any real, a semblance of not having an effect of the home field, the home field advantage not affect them, And other than that, every team in the Prem has shown bits where you're like, are they even playing at home? Right. It's one of those things where those things don't occur. And again, it got back to the Manchester City loss when Raheem Sterling scored. That was one of Raheem's first goals in Anfield as a Manchester City player. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those things where you're like, well, how did that happen? Well, yeah, it's because you don't have, thousands upon thousands of people cheering you and screaming at you and getting into your head somewhat. Despite the fact that these guys are professionals, they have a better ability to block those things out. They have a definite better ability to do those things on a regular, but on the team, some do, exactly. Yeah. They're not taking who was that guy? The Manchester United player that did the flying kick into the crowd, but Antona, right? But it's not like that doesn't exist in that home field doesn't make a difference. And again, I'm not saying that's the reason why we're losing. I'm not saying that if we had home field it'd be a different story. I'm saying more so that these are all factors that are definitely a part of it. And if anything, though, it is definitely troubling, or it's testing to see how well we perform despite all of the things that happen. Because, I mean, for instance, in this game alone, we saw 3 of the things that occurred to us that have been a basic microcosm of our season. The first, the brilliance, and I can't say this, that could have been the assist of the year by Firmino. That Bobby left that for Salah so brilliantly that it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. In that moment, I was like, wow, we could have a chance to really pull this out. And then you have the blatant, I don't even know how it didn't get called, but the blatant push in the back of Mane that starts the break. And all of a sudden they score. And all of a sudden, you have also the mind, I want to say the mind fart, I guess you could say, or the mind blip, whatever you want to call it, where you have Alisson coming out of goal and that was Alisson's fault, and it was just something simple as that, as or the Thiago goal actually came before that too, which was or Thiago foul that brought out the goal, and then the VAR decision being not properly placed, in my opinion, because VAR decisions are they're objective views of one person in West London making a choice on when that person kicked the ball, when it's not like some computer science where it's different every time. It's different every time. Right. And you got one of it. I've seen games where that would have been called offsides. Right. 100%. No. So look, and I'm not. This isn't going to be a VAR a VAR rant or anything like that. But I'm just trying to get across that, that VAR decision affected us. And people are like, oh, well, you should get over it. VAR is making the game better. I'm like, no, VAR, it's not that I don't have a problem with VAR. I just have a problem with how it's applied. I don't have, if VAR is going to help us or help us make the game better, great. But if VAR is not going to be applied properly, then that's a different story, Like that's what it comes down to. And then again, we don't get a decision, we don't get a call that goes our way, and then all of a sudden it's just a floodgate of things that just goes downhill. And hey, we have a lot of different things, a lot of things that we have to figure out. But I need our Red fans, my fellow Reds brethren, to understand that it starts here, and we are the heart of this team, and we need to be critical. I'm not saying we need to be on some, lockstep and boot. Hey, we need to never criticize our team, but we need to be critical, but we need to be constructive with the criticism. We need to be constructive with how we bring it across. Because otherwise, you might as well just join the rivals. That's how I see it.
Yep. Well said. That's all we needed. We need you to settle the crowd down again.
So getting ready to wrap it up here. I don't know if we
again.
Yeah, I know. Megaton again, I think.
Megaton.
If we have too much in the yellow red card segment.
I had one. The abuse that some of these managers and players are receiving via Twitter is it's getting a little out of hand now.
Yeah.
That was my kind of like yellow red card combined. That I know it's a public forum and a social, like you could say whatever the hell you want, but it doesn't give you the right to insult anybody, come at someone's family, wish harm on someone's family, race, bringing any of that involved. And they need to find, I don't know if there's a way to police it because it is such a social platform, but apparently they're going to start cracking down and having more monitoring on social sites, which
I don't know if you saw the Premier League did come out with a response and said the suggestions that they made were pretty spot on, actually, as to to really combat this, because it has gotten out of control. It always has been an issue in our sport, and that's unfortunate. And not only unfortunate, it's an actual stain if we allow for it to continue, because realistically, it's one thing to be some random person that says some stupid comment or some stupid thing, but also it's if we stand there and don't actually say anything, or then you're compliant to it, then you are just as guilty as the person that said whatever it was that was harmful. So
yeah. Paul, thank you for joining us. I want to say thank you.
Good banter.
Please join us again any other time. Like I said, check us out on all the socials. I agree 100% with what you guys both just said there. We say it all the time. There's just no room for it. Like, it's stupid. Like, this is sports. You're supposed to separate those two things. And, I know it's frustrating sometimes, but like, if it gets to that level, then maybe you need to step back and kind of evaluate your life and kind of think about where your priorities are. Because if something like this gets you that upset, then like, we're all huge fans and things like that, but it shouldn't get you to the point where you feel like you gotta inflict harm on somebody because they didn't their team didn't win, or the ref made a bad call. Even as much as refs frustrate us, they still don't deserve the abuse either. They are human beings. I have to remind my guys that all the time. I actually came up, I wanted to run it by you before we get off the air, because I have an acronym for my team that we're going to go off of. And I'm slowly trolling social media with the term rift. And when you put a rift into something, you kind of break it up and you prevent it from, creation, and you build a rift, and it's respectful, intelligent football tactics. And that's how I'm running my team. And I feel like we're going to put a rift in a lot of other teams' game plans. I feel like you have to be respectful of the game, the refs, your opponents, your teammates, everybody. You have to play smart, and that's it. Like, that's if you can do those two things and just, you know, have some fun and go out there, like, you'll win a lot of football games if you have some talented players. So that's my new acronym going forward that I'm trying to build for this sport. So.
Well, unfortunately, Adam just left, but I did have to make one just quick comment. I just wanted to say quickly, look, we all deal with loss in different ways. And I think that, you know, especially now with mental health being a serious issue in our country and in the world in general, more so, I think that it does have an impact on how we actively reach out or actively interact with each other. I think that, you know, you can say what you want about Klopp losing his mother, but I know that, you know, having almost lost my father to COVID this year, those things are weigh on you. And, you know, when the one thing that you find enjoyment in, because I mean, all these guys love this game, and it's the reason why they play it. They've been playing it since they were like, you know, probably out of the womb type deal. So for them to have that forum all of a sudden collapse on them too, and there's no, oh well, I'll just go home, and because, you know, your mother, your father, they're always that person that can give you a hug or give you that encouragement and bring you up, and that's something that really means something in our lives. And you know, your supporter, your sponsor is a much needed resource, and it's times like this that I say that, you know, those things weigh more heavily than sometimes we're willing to bring out or accept, and that's unfortunate that, you know, we sometimes don't have the ability to do those things.
Yeah. That's what we build our, you know, the club that I'm part of. That's what we kind of build our culture around, is making it, you know, that's where we want to. It's our family, and that's what this game brings. It brings that little bit of extra joy when there may not be. So,
yeah. And also Everton. Hey, good luck without Calvert-Lewin and Pickford today. I know you guys don't need them. Just like, you know, just like RB. Just like RB. We should look past them. You don't need those guys either.
Yeah, you don't need them. They haven't been important at all.
They're not that important. So
yeah. Hey, as long as Spurs lose, it's a good day. So, all right. Well, I guess Adam probably had dead battery or something, so we'll take us out. Thanks again for jumping in.
Always. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, man. We'll talk this week. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Certainly, I wish we had more time, but there's a lot of things to talk about. So.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into
hopefully my team will add to it tomorrow too. So, all right, man. Have a good weekend. All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. See you next Saturday, 10:30 Eastern time. Kicking it stateside, A2D Radio, best in the business. Again, congratulations to Tom Arnone. For his newborn son. And yeah, all right, let's go, guys. Love you.
See ya.